So let's jump into tonight's game of Hoard of the Dragon Queen. Um, Last time we had Vale make his way back to El Terrell, find out his friends were already ahead of him. He jumped on a boat as quick as he could and made his way after them to Baldur's Gate. We introduced Seymour and Fabius as potentially two new allies, as they made a contract that they should have read over more carefully with the Harpers to help guide the party to a certain individual of note, as they were carrying something that was needing to be delivered to this person. The group's very suspicious of these people at first, as they are, one of them at least, is very loud and attraction seeking, like just kind of wants to be the center of everything. Look at that natural 20. Thank you. You just wasted that natural 20, that critical hit. I love it. But after some weirdness with the guards, and then poor Fabius getting woman-handled by a half-orc who out-strong-armed him, weren't able to get into the theater before Virgil somehow got one of those brain cells activate and be like, hey, wasn't the packet supposed to show up some words whenever we got closer to it? And the group was like, oh yeah, ha, I remember that now. And learning that the package that had the name of where Seymour and Fabius said they needed to go visit. So they finally did so. They turned in the package, which turned out to be a couple of notes and a fairly good size ruby, which they sold back to the particular person of note. And they sold a black greatsword to the person. And between the sword and the ruby, made a nice 5,000 gold pieces. Which is nice, considering 4 or 5 days ago, the halfling bastard took all your money. So we start back off today with you all leaving, except for Vale, you all leaving the tent and of Akin, and pretty much told that you guys are ahead of the group that you're looking for, as if they are truly following the trade's way as per the information Nekusar had with the note in the map, that the trade's way continues north. This is the northern exit, and it's very common practice for traders to sell wagons on either the east or south side of Baldur's Gate and buy new ones on whatever direction they are looking to go to, and just have carriers move their goods and or sell goods within Baldur's Gate, maybe buy new ones and continue on. Which makes you all believe you have a couple of days, maybe. You do know you are about 3 or 4 days ahead of the cultist group that was in El Terrell, as you all took the river road, and them being on wagons had a much slower time. You were given an idea from Akin about how you could potentially join at least the caravan train heading the same direction as the cultists, as each caravan probably hires about 2 to 3 guards, and they typically wait until there's a big bunch of them, so that Not one small group is beset by bandits or what have you. And if the cultist group really wants to travel indiscriminately, they will wait with the other wagon teams until the size feels about right. And Akin said to use him as reference. This was one way, potential way, to get where you needed to be without having to put yourselves in excessive risk. Now, you got to Baldur's Gate in the morning. Between starting to head your way over to Akin, to going back to the Harper's Theater, so I'll go back to actually going to Akin. It's probably about late afternoon, maybe about 2, 3 o'clock or so. Um, you've got some fresh coin in some of your pockets and or bag of holding that Tal has, as coins expense or is heavy to carry, and we're kind of just left to your own devices. And it was Atkins suggested, just stopping by every day until he potentially has better information. And so, the day is yours.
My first suggestion is to maybe find a place for lodging. Let's say
Do you think we could get lodging with the Harpers? Or should we try to find our own hotel to stay at? They did have a long lineup of people.
I would think that we could kind of just find the same one.
Seymour
what's
pops.
your thought?
Seymour pops up and goes. He kind of looks at the back of his hand and goes, I don't think unless you have one of these, and he will gently light up. Ah, Nekusar! What the hell? Come on. Hey, Nekusar's back. What the heck? Are you back for real?
I didn't even think I was gone.
Yep, you disappeared off our screen. Okay, so Seymour kind of just lights up his skin, and you can faintly see the crescent moon and Harper symbol, and he goes, I don't think unless you have one of these, they're gonna just let you in. It didn't seem like that kind of a place. So I suggest we find our own establishment, maybe something closer in the market district, perhaps, instead of the lower district.
That sounds good to me. You've been in town longer than us. Can you lead the way?
Certainly. What kind of establishment are you looking for?
Something maybe a little more moderate.
I mean,
With
you
a
looking?
good pub.
I mean, you looking for comforts or cheap?
Oh, definitely not cheap.
Okay. Do we want to do a little shopping first?
Well, there were a couple things that I was thinking about looking for. Anybody else need to go shopping?
Yes, I would like to shop around at some of the vendors that might have some magical wares for us.
I'm not there or I'd interact.
Not yet, Vale. You are a day behind. You're almost here, though, buddy. You're almost here. These bastards just need to sleep. I mean, this amazing crew. All right. Well, if there's plenty of shops in the market district. I don't know of any
Plus your
specific magic ones, but we could probably ask around.
sounds good to me. Well, Seymour, we're going to follow you.
No. After you, Fabius.
Well, I can head out to the marketplace.
You've been here as long as I. I don't know anything about this place either.
I just wouldn't want anyone to get lost. Means that they may not be able to see me down here. Off we go. Time's a wasting. Daylight's burning.
All right. So, exiting the north outer area, going back into Baldur's Gate proper. What's looking for magic shops? Is that what we're going to first?
Actually, I was more headed towards a potion shop.
All right. Make a survival roll, Fabius.
Survival. Survival?
Mm-hmm.
Normal?
Yeah.
I've got advantages and stuff.
Why would you have advantage on a survival roll to find a place in the city?
Okay.
The check mark does not mean advantage. It just means you're
Oh.
proficient with it. You don't roll with advantage.
Okay.
Okay.
So
a 13. With a 13, it's... You guys walk for a couple of hours looking at different places that say they look like they're potion shops, but they're really like minor apothecaries that apply this ointment and you'll last a long time. Kind of some shady places like that,
Oh,
but
kind of like snake oil.
after asking around a couple of times, you do eventually find a legitimate shop, and the shop is called Priscilla's Potions. And walking into Priscilla's Potions, it's very boring looking. There's not a lot. There's just not really much there. The
Okay.
shelves are kind of bare, other than a couple of dried herbs here and there. And the far end of the store, behind a small counter, appears to be an older man. He's got a little bit of a long white beard, bald up top, and he just whenever you all are looking around, he goes, "Can I help you?"
Well, we were just kind of looking around to see if you had what kind of stock you had on stuff.
I've got stock on stuff.
Um, I was kind of looking for like a health potion or a rejuvenation potion.
Well, those are two different potions. Are you looking for one over the other, or both?
Uh, Mostly to recover from injury.
In that case, I suggest you rest and have some soup. You'll recover lickety split.
Yeah, but we may need a potion that would get us there a little faster.
My pen is green. Sorry. I mean, I have some concoctions that, when taken immediately after such physical wound, aids in the regenerative process, if that's what you're inquiring about.
I would be inclined to be interested in those.
All right. And the rest of you, anything particular you're looking for?
Would you have anything that could cure diseases or poisons, possibly?
Poisons, yes. Disease, I'd have to look, but maybe if the flaming fist didn't take it all. Poison, disease. As he writes down his little bit of scratch paper, and normal potion. Anything else?
That's pretty much all that I'm looking for at the moment.
Okay, just 1 second. And he gets down off of the chair he was sitting on, and you can see he's about the same height as Fabius. He's only about 5-ish or so foot tall for the person that he is, and he's got this wicked hunch, and he's got a cane. He goes into a back room, leaving you all to your devices up here.
Okay. Just kind of looking around. What else does it look like is in this shop?
So give me a perception check.
Uh,
Looking around, none of these things look familiar to you. There's different plants that are kind of hanging around. You see what appears to be like a stuffed squirrel. Up in the rafters, it looks like a couple of birds that just don't blink and don't make any noise. They just stare, don't move, and After, I don't know, maybe 3, 4, upwards 5 minutes or so, the guy comes back with this, with a crate, and he's walking with a limp. He sets the crate up. He walks back and then comes back with his cane, gets back on his chair, pulls himself forward, and goes, sets the cane down and goes, "All right, here we are." And he opens up the just laid on there wooden lid. It's not like hammered down or nailed down or anything. He just takes it off, and he pulls out 4 red vials. Um, one one that's kind of a black and green swirl to it, and 2 that are a kind of a bright pink with a like a silver sheen, like a streak of silver through it that doesn't. As he's jostling them, the silver doesn't like mix. It stays separate. So there's this like strand of silver that just waves around in this pink liquid. And so he sets these things down. He moves the crate off to the side. He goes, "All right, now we have 2 potions," pointing to the pink ones, "of cure disease. 1 of the cure poison, and 4 of the more regenerative potions that you requested," as he points over to you, Fabius.
Mm-hmm. He has how many?
So it's 4 potions of healing, 1 potion of cure poison, and 2 potions of cure disease.
Okay. Can you kind of tell me about these? How do they work?
You drink them.
Uh, how injured? How much will it regenerate if you're injured?
You're talking about these red ones over here. They are your more standard common variety. If you get, if you get stabbed in the chest, you take a potion, you'll be fine. If you have a leg cut off, not gonna put the leg back on.
Well, how much are these? How much are these?
The healing potions are 50 gold apiece.
And for the rest?
The potion of cure poison is 100 gold, and the potions of cure disease is also 100 gold each, of course.
No, no, these don't have expiration dates, do they?
I do not understand what is an expiration date. Like
They don't.
a
They don't
date.
go bad. I mean, like you don't have to use them in the next 24 hours, or they don't work.
Not that I'm aware, since I've had them for about a 10 day.
Um,
Could we work out a deal on all the potions?
What kind of a deal? What do you propose?
Well, this is very expensive purchase. I think if we're buying this all together, that you should probably give us a bit of a discount, I'd say.
A discount? Let me ask you, sir. If someone comes to you and says, you know what? You've done a lot today, but, I think since we're gonna use you tomorrow, we're gonna pay you less. Do you just accept that?
It depends on the circumstances, I guess.
Circumstances. And how much of a discount do you think is fair, young man?
How about everything for 400 gold?
Give me a persuasion check, Mr.
Right.
Charisma Master.
Do it.
With your plus 19.
No, I'm
Broken
not that great
charisma.
at persuasion.
You still have like a plus 7.
6.
Ugh.
What's one number? Come on.
As he rolls a total of 22. I'm not that great at persuading. Nah. Look at this fucking kid.
My new friend here is very entertaining. He can sing you a song, perform you a dance. This purple gemmed creature is quite fascinating.
All of it, you say, for 400.
Yes, I believe that is fair.
Deal.
Thank you, sir. Tal, pay the man and we'll be on our way.
Alright. So, of the 5,000, minus 400. Tal pays the man and would hand Fabius one of the healing potions and then just puts everything else in his bag of holding until you all get to a more private location to divvy out like everything, depending on how this excursion goes.
So tell me, sir, is there any shops around here that might sell some magical wares that you would recommend?
Let's see if this guy knows anything. Old crotchety bastard that he is. I'm afraid not, young man. It's not things that I'm interested in. I know where to find really good mushrooms outside of town for potions, but magic-y things don't really help me in my day and age.
Well, thank you for your business. I hope we can
And we
return.
thank you. We thank you so much for your business.
Not a problem. Take care. Don't die. Come back and spend more money.
Can we get your name? That way we can say that we had a wonderful experience in your shop.
Oh, certainly. My name is Princella.
All right. Well, we thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Hey.
I'll start asking around the market. Anybody who looks more inept to be a magic caster or
Okay. Give me a
Okay.
survival roll, Nekusar.
Survival.
Yep, as you're asking around, gathering some intel.
Skills.
Someone stabs you. Oh, wait, no, no.
There's a guy who just starts walking and goes, I don't understand. The map, it says black gate, but there's no black gates.
Right?
With a 6! Solid 6. Um, between you and Tal and Seymour, the more magically inclined of the crazy bunch of the 5 of you, kind of this particular part of town doesn't really look like very many people of the arcane nature. You have to go more northern side of the market district before you find somebody, and then you do find somebody, but the information costs you money, and so -1 gold to find out where the actual place is and what it's called, and you get you get sent to a place called the Purple Carpet, and it's kind of centralized. It's kind of in the more busier thoroughfare of the market district. It's a fairly good size, kind of a dark purple tent with a on the peak has a golden flag that every now and then flaps as there's a breeze. And as you head closer to the entrance of the tent, there is a fairly nice rug carpet in front of it. No particular signs or anything say anything about it. But walking in, the floor is the same similar color purple of the tent is on the ground for the purple carpet. You see there's a few customers in here currently, some obvious wizardy types based off their robes that they are wearing, and on the walls themselves, you can see where the posts for this tent are pretty good size, and they've got shelves built between these tent posts, and they have this large U-shape desk that covers the sides of the wall, that covers the sides going up and around, so that it's obvious the desks are a barrier between the clients and the merchandise. Strangely enough, you see what looks like 4 identical figures behind the large U-shaped desk, helping different people. Tiny gnomes with bright pink hair that's pulled off into 2 pigtails and little freckles and bright blue eyes. And then one of them just gets done talking to a customer and looks over at you all, goes, "Hi! Welcome! What can I do for ya?"
We're looking to see if you have any magical wares.
Well, as they gesture around, I definitely have magical wares.
Would you?
Anything in particular there, bandaged one? You should really slay a healer.
I think I'll be fine. I'm wondering if you have any weapons or armors that could be of use to an adventuring party.
Well, I definitely do. Looks kind of at all of you here, and Oh, yeah, maybe. Um, I definitely have weapons, and I definitely have armor. I've got some accessory types, a couple of rings, some earrings, necklaces, bracelets, all of varying degree of price. So, what's anything in particular that you're looking for? Or like, you specifically want a new cloak, or I want boots that are make me fly.
I already have boots that leave fancy tracks. I'll start walking around the shop, see some kobold tracks, and then some like Warforged stompy tracks, some weird
those
Loxodon.
those are very nice. Are you selling?
I'm looking to buy, but
Okay.
it could be positive trade. I'm wondering if you have any wands or
Ooh.
things that could increase my spell's abilities.
And you don't think that the mark that God put on your body isn't enough of a fucking boon? You jackwagon? Says God. No, it's fine. Wands. Yeah, maybe. I might be able to find a couple of wands. Wands. Okay. Yeah, okay. I think I can think of a couple of things. Couple of things. Does any of the rest of yous want anything else?
Um, just out of curiosity, maybe something I can replace my great axe with.
Okay. Something to replace the great axe. All right. Wands. Different great axe. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Now, since the rest of you are super quiet, let me go look for wands and something for a great axe.
Oh, wonderful.
And she climbs down the bar stool, but you can kind of see like the tops of like just the very tops of the ponytails still behind the desky, and you hear ruffling of pages as though she's looking at something with paper. You don't know. Um, she comes back up with um, a couple of different pages. She sets three down, kind of in front of you, Nekasar, and two down, kind of in front of you, Fabius. And Nekasar, you see on three different pages is three different wands. And as she points to one of them, she says, "This, this one's, this one's very, very, very fun. I don't know if it'll boost your particular magic, but it has a magic of its own. With this wand, and it looks like there is a picture of the wand, and the picture looks like it is probably about. Well, you can't tell size about the picture, so you see that it looks like it's a piece of burnt, like a burnt stick, and at the tip of the burnt stick, it is still red hot. And she turns the page around and hands it towards you, and she says, this one here, this is... And she kind of does this. She goes, it's a wand of fireball. You You can cast Fireball with this particular swish and flick, if you will. And it has a few charges. You can expend them all to have a greater fireball, if you will. However, it does have a recharge, and there is a chance that if you... Well, that the wand expels all magic and it just turns to ash. This year, the Wand of Fireballs is only 32,000 gold. And then she brings over the next paper. And this one is kind of this dark black yeah, not stick, but not rod, but of that same thin cylindrical shape. And on the black material, it looks like skeletons with the mouth open in a screaming sensation. And the back of the skeletons are very or the skeleton heads, the skulls and are open, and the backs of them are kind of wispy. And she goes, this is the Wand of Fear. You can point that at someone and make them terribly afraid of you. It too has charges and has to be recharged, but should last longer than the Wand of Fireballs, at least. Depending. You may cast it at multiple enemies, but this Wand of Fear is only 10,000 gold pieces. And this last one, as she points to the final wand, the page of the wand, she says, now this one's a little interesting. I gotta bring it up. This one's gonna be fun. Come on. Search. This one I think is more what you are looking for in particular, but I wanted to give you options. This one is called the Wand of the War Mage. This one doesn't have the charges that the others do, and it won't potentially explode on you. And this is like a twisted, half-bent stick. It's kind of in a weird angle, like this. On the tip of it, it looks like some sort of steel bead that's got spikes coming out of the end of it. This will give you the boost you were asking about. And it allows you to more easily pinpoint your foes should they be harder to hit and see. This one is 1,200 gold pieces. So in layman's terms, while holding the wand, you have to hold it, not just have it in your person. You gain a bonus to your spell and attack your spell attack rolls. This is a +1. In addition, you ignore half cover when making a spell attack. And
So no
has
increased damage.
no increased damage. It's just the attack roll, and ignoring half cover. Very
Well,
few things boost magic damage.
I'm quite interested in this last wand here.
Well, while you think about these, because Wand of Fireball, uh, you, my red-bearded friend, let's look at these that we have for you here.
Okay.
So, the two pictures that you see in front of you. There is a um, a large sword on this particular picture, and the blade goes up to a certain, like about halfway before it splits into two. So it does like this as part of the blade. It splits for continuing up to be two separate points. The blade is more of a darker gray, and when they turn the page around to face you, they go, "This here, this one's fun. This is the Great Sword of Life Sealing. It has a chance on a hit of a foe to pull some of their life essence out for you." And then they point to the other one, and this one here is the Vicious Great Axe, and the blades of the two blades of the Great Axe are jagged and weird points to them. It's not a smooth edged blade. It's very rough. Pure black except for the edges of the blades themselves.
Okay.
This one here has a chance of inflicting an extra amount of damage as you rend flesh from body. So pointing to the life-slaying greatsword, she says, "This one is 1,000 gold." And then pointing to the vicious great axe. Where are you?
Hiding.
Truth. This one is 750 gold. They both count as magic weapons in the sense of being able to overcome some resistances, but the only enhancements are enhancements by chance.
I don't understand what that means.
Depending on how good you hit, they may do more damage.
Ah, okay. Hmm. Let me talk to my companions here.
Certainly. She kind of just steps back, lets you all talk amongst yourselves, and she goes, those were just weapons and wands. We still have armors and cloaks and braziers, rings, earrings, necklaces. You let me know. And then she steps away. As you two are conversing, Vale, I
Yeah.
need you to give me a strength roll. Just a pure strength roll for your first day of on-the-job quick training. To see how well you do. Okay? Now give me an intelligence roll.
Intelligence?
Yes, sir. Nice. So, strangely enough, first time you've been on a boat, and you're starting to wonder if you weren't meant to be a fish. You pick up on the terms and what's to do, and you're almost instinctively like a step ahead as far as tying the knots the way they're supposed to be, and you have no idea how you know to tie the knot that way, but it's like instinct. You just loop, swoop, pull, done. And at a particular big burst of wind, you were there at the right moment, grabbing the flailing about rope, pulling the sail back and pulling that into place. Your first day on this trek, though your hands are bloody from the day's work, it's not an easy job. It's while painful, it's not really. It's you have a sense of accomplishment as this is something new, but you were into it. You got it done. You actually get paid. You paid 10 gold.
Nice.
So just mark that down somewhere. You got paid 10 gold just for the one day. Night goes. Now I need you to make another strength check, but this time with advantage, as you learned from the day before. Look at that dirty 20. Love it. Love it. This day goes by much smoother than the day before, and your hands are, while they're still bleeding at the end of the day, they're not fresh wounds. It's the same ones. You just didn't really have enough long of a rest to get a good heal on them. There's only so much like a bandage can do when water's splashing up and around, but eventually those will be calloused up, and at this point, maybe you need a ship of your own. Maybe you're meant to be a captain. Huh. And on that particular night, the ship is boarded in the middle of the night. However, it was just the tail end of your watch, and you and a couple of other people defended your barge without issue. Your tiny friends, for the first time since the trip began, kind of left your body defending and attacking, your little moats just making short work of the would-be pirates. And you think to yourself, okay, don't be a pirate because they're stupid.
Right.
Third day goes on perfectly without issue. Though your barge a little slower than what the other people had, so that's why you're the day behind. But on your fourth, about just before noon on that fourth day, the barge does go into Baldur's Gate, and for the entire trip, including the 10 gold to be on the first day, they pay you 100 gold total. As
Right.
the pirates that you dispatched were looted, things that could be used are going to be sold. They are just kind of in general giving you your cut, and they've got nothing but good things to say about you. And they kind of let you know that they'll pass it on. That Veil of the Swarmkeeper is um, a handy boat hand to have.
Right.
So part of that is Veil. As long as you are looking for a boat to travel or be on, you will have advantage on doing so. As you
Cool.
will be known, it may take some time to get throughout all of Faerun, but this particular barge captain will be telling other barge captains, and word will get around. And so, anytime there is a need for a ship, as long as you are the one looking for said ship, you will have advantage on doing so, as well as any negotiations thereof. So, just something for your notes.
Yep, adding it to the notes now, actually.
Perfect, perfect. As we will jump back to the other group, because we need to see where this group is in order to find out where Vale and this group can match up. Seymour looks down at you, Fabius, and goes, I have some money, but not nearly that much.
Yeah,
That's a bit steep.
that is actually a bit steep even for me for now. I have the healing potion. That's the main thing I was looking for. I don't know what else. I don't know if, rings and all that stuff would help.
Well, tell me about your rings or cloaks or other magical items. Maybe you have anything that could help us in a dangerous battle against dragons or increase our armor, the survivability.
She comes as you're talking a little bit louder to her. She starts paying more attention, and she comes back over to you guys, and she goes, "Well, I mean, we have all kinds of base enchantments on things of more resilient natures. We have cloaks that make you harder to hit, cloaks that make you very hard to hit by making it seem as if you're not entirely standing still. Your form is a little blurred, if you will. We have rings of different elemental resistances. We've got, I mean, we have flying carpets. We've got, we've got a few wands, or not wands, excuse me, but rods of immovability. I mean, we have a lot of different things. It depends on your price point. What are you trying to get something for everyone? I mean, Wand of Fireball is fantastic.
I believe it is fantastic, and I wish I could afford it. I just. Hold on a moment. I'm gonna go over and whisper in Tal's ear and
Okay.
ask him for what our funds are at.
All right.
Super secret.
Um. So after what's his face cleared you all out, according to Tal's current calculation, um, you're at 4,600 gold pieces
Mm-hmm.
because you are all, wiped out.
Yeah, we got bowed.
Yep, you got bowed.
We got bowed. All right. Yes. Tell us about some of your cloaks or stuff. We would like to get maybe a little something for a few of us. Maybe on the more affordable side. How about?
Ooh, excuse me. She goes, well, most. Uh-oh. He's gone again on my screen.
Yeah, we
I wonder
lost
if he keeps,
Necrozar.
like, alt-clicking or something. Do you keep alt-clicking or something, Nekusar?
I'm not clicking anything. It's just really bad connection here right now.
Okay. It's just like you just suddenly disappear on us. She goes, well, basically, in order to speed things along, most of our armors that have an entry level, we'll say, enchantment on them to make you a little bit harder to hit, are usually around 1,500 gold pieces, in addition to whatever the cost of the armor is. So, for example, full plate that has the extra enchantment is about 13, or not 13, is about 3,000 gold. Because you've got the cost of the plate plus then the base enchantment. So we can enchant we have leather armor enchanted, we have breastplates enchanted, scale enchant. We do have plate armor enchanted if somebody is so inclined. So just keep that in mind. Your base cost of the armor plus the cost of the enchantment for your again basic entry level enhancements. Hashtag +1. Basic AC +1. And this is for cloaks, armors, those kinds of things. Some more advanced things, like we have some very rare braces of defense, which are a little bit more intermediate enchantment of please don't hit me. There's there's an old fable of an Amazonian called Wonder Woman, if you will. She had these golden braces that she would block arrows and crossbow bolts with. Someone got fancy on that particular fable and made these. So they do exist. They are gold, as per the character. Um, Let's see here. We have things like goggles, spectacles, if you will, that allow you access to see in the dark. Those are 1,500 gold. If anyone is of the spell storing sort, if you want to put your arcane energy into something that you can then use later, the The god Ayun typically throws about stones on the planet every once in a while. We have a few of their stones that you can imbue magic into of spells, but not all spells. It can only hold so much magic within them. Those things. Those things usually run about 1,200 to 31,000 gold. Just depends on what extra enhancements they have. And then different we have different potions here of different higher than your typical apothecary could have. Perhaps you wish to not be seen for a time. Potions that make you invisible, about 180 gold apiece. Um, Maybe you said you're fighting dragons. Maybe you wish to breathe fire like one. Potion of fire breath might be more up your alley for 150 gold.
I'm gonna just speak to Tal and
Okay.
just be like, what do you say we get some maybe cloaks or rings that could make it harder to get hit? I like the sound of that for us. We
Tal
could
agrees.
probably afford one each, and I'm really fond of that wand she showed us last.
As you're talking to Tal, you do hear her still talking about things, and she goes, "Now, when it comes to items on jewelry, these tend to be a little bit more expensive as there's less overall material to imbue the enchantment on, so the enchantment has to be more focused and forced into smaller confines. So, for example, the armor that was of a minor enhancement on a ring would be almost double the cost.
Okay.
Rings of minor protections are 3,500 gold, just because of how much more energy it has to be forced into compression onto these particular items. Therefore, it takes more material to do so. It takes a longer time.
Well, do you possibly take trade-ins? Look at this gentleman's fine battle armor. He has spent countless nights working on it and tweaking it. Would you be interested in trading this in towards a value upon something like a +1 plate? Or
She looks over the armor. She goes, I mean, maybe. She reaches down in the desk and pulls out a monocle, puts the monocle on. And then she's looking over all of you. And she goes, well, no, not that armor. It's bound to him. So, no, not that in particular. But you, sir, have a lot of things on you of interest.
I'm curious how you know this. I have everything on me hidden away.
There are some things that aren't beyond some sights.
So you're interested in my boots then?
Boots, minor magic. Something in of greater Daka magic is on you. And something with time magic is on you. Both of which would be wonderful collections.
Yes, they are wonderful, but they will stay in my collection. I cannot barter with those items.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What about shields?
The shields run the same standard as the minor enhancements. It's the cost of the enchantment plus the item itself, other than what I said for rings, necklaces, those such things, because those are smaller materials that cost more. Shield, much larger material, around the same. You would have the cost of the shield plus the cost of the enchantment.
Does Tal use a shield?
I don't think Tal is currently using a shield. Let me look.
I don't think so.
Nope, Tal is not using a shield. I don't know that he wants to because he's got his lightning. I don't know. Tal is. Whenever you whisper over to Nekusar, whenever you whisper over to Tal, Tal kind of whispers back at you and goes, "Why did you buy those healing potions when I apparently have a fuck ton of them in my bag of holding?"
I got a little carried away. I thought the dwarf was buying his own things.
I don't see a shield on him. Can he use one? He can. He can, but I don't know if he wants to. I'm not sure if that's how he's playing his character. Because he's all about the two hands for things.
Right.
Okay.
So basically, most armors are about 50 golds, other than like a breastplate. I think a breastplate is significantly more, and then from breastplate up, so breastplate, half plate, and something else is ridiculous. But from like hide, scale, chain, leather, those are usually like 50 golds for the base item, and then the enchantment's 1500. So you're looking at like 1600 gold ish, depending on how good you negotiate, for like a +1 leather or a +1 cloak. And then you've got the wand that you're looking at. Let's see here. Handbook, where is the armors? There we go. So breastplate is 400 gold, half plate 750. That's just a basic one. So in addition to that, you have the higher cost. And then those people who can wear heavy armor, which I think is two of you, Virgil and Tau, with the plate armor being the most expensive at 1500 gold for just basic plate. So then with the enchantment of the +1 is 3,000 gold. Which I think he already has his particular armor enhanced as a +1. Let's see. It's easier to see infusions on D&D Beyond. Features and traits. He has... What are your infusions? Why doesn't it tell me? Am I missing it? Bag of holding, yes. And what? There it is, yeah. So he's got enhanced defense on his plate already. So he's not really too keen on that, but cloak or something would be interesting.
Cloak is 3,000.
A cloak is if you get just the basic enchantments, the +1, it's the cost of the enchantment plus the cost of the item. So she basically told you the base cost of the enchantment is 1,500 gold. So that plus the cost of the cloak.
Okay, I thought cloaks were
Rings and
okay.
necklaces are the ones that are like 3,000 because it's a smaller material. They have to compress the magic onto less overall space, but still give your body the overall enhancement. So it takes more material to enchant, and
Well,
then it takes longer to do.
in that case, we would be interested in 2 of your defensive cloaks and your wand of the war mage.
All right, all right. So 2 cloaks of the minor enhanced defensive capabilities, and then the wand. I mean, there's so many of you here. What about your crossbow friend, your very purple friend, and the beautiful red bearded one?
Well, these 2 here we've just met hours ago, so I don't know if I want to be spending all of my hard-earned money on them just yet. And this other one doesn't seem to speak up that he wants anything. Perhaps one of the cloaks will be for him?
Your money, your business. Um, yeah, we could just take some quick measurements, make sure we get the correct size cloak. And with this wand, that'll bring your total up to 4,400 gold. And then as she says this, like she reaches into a pocket and this rope comes out, and the rope has knots different places, and she just kind of snaps her finger, and this Translucent hand picks up the rope, goes over to you, Nekusar, measures how tall you are, goes over to Tal, measures how tall he is, and then brings the rope back to her. It kind of starts picking it up into a ball. She takes it, puts it back into her pouch, and then she jumps down off the stool, flapping through a couple more pages, and she brings up um, two pages, and as she's just for my understanding, you have removed the dragon cult cloak, right?
Yeah,
The outer, the
before I
mantle
came
thing.
into
Got it.
town,
I just want to just because I was thinking that the two won't work. They're the same slot item. If you think consider it like a video game. So we're fine. So she brings out two, and then she turns them around, and they are um, basic looking cloaks as far as they go around the shoulders. They have a clasp in front. They're long, but each of them has a hood that comes up and kind of drapes over. And off to the right hand side, you can see there are different small boxes. There's red, purple, brown, green, black, and blue. And she goes, just choose your color.
I'll take a black.
Okay, all right. And Tal will have to pick his own color. And we will revert back and say this is the one he chose. Black,
He wants
blue,
blue.
yellow. Blue for lightning. We'll go with
Blue for
blue.
lightning.
We'll give him the blue one. And she takes her finger, touches the blue, drags it over to the picture of the cloak, and the cloak changes colors. And then same thing for the black, drags it over, and instead of the picture being like kind of a grayish color, it's a pure deep black color. And she goes, and then she takes the pages for the two weapons and the other two wands away. So in front of you is two pages, one for each cloak, and then a third page, last page of being a wand. She goes, anything else for you all today?
Um, no, I think we're good.
All right.
Seeing as we're making such a
No.
purchase, and we are new adventures, could you maybe throw in a bonus item or two? Just a little something you might have?
You know, if you returned and spend more money, sure. New customers, though.
Well, we're going out into the wilderness for I don't know how long until we return. I would really appreciate anything you could do to assist us.
Fighting dragons, you said.
Yes, ma'am.
How about a a contract then with an advanced payment as part of it?
I'm intrigued. Continue.
She takes the three pieces of paper and she just kind of puts them together and sets them aside. Or not, just kind of closer to her. She goes, dragons have natural materials that would help in the enchanting of things. I am inclined to offer up a an agreement, a deal between us. Is that from these dragons that you hunt, when you kill them, there are particular items from the body that need to be harvested quickly. And after doing so, return them to me. Now,
Ex-
that's not a easy endeavor, I get, especially ingredients to be fresh. So, part of this is I will give you a special container that will keep the draconic essence as fresh as possible. And depending on what you bring me, we'll either pay off the debt or we'll pay it off and I will pay you more. Things that I would be interested in are scales, claws, horns, heart, hide, teeth, blood, and if possible, the organ in the neck that holds their elemental energy. And I will give you this container that you can put these things in. And when you defeat these dragons, you can harvest as much of these things as possible, put them in the container, bring the container back, and upon returning these things, if they are in good order, we will consider the debt paid. And if they are in fantastic order, you are just little eager beavers, I will pay you a fair sum for the remainder that is outside of the debt. And dragon pots are... well, they're not exactly easy to come by.
Alright, do these have to come from a full dragon, or can we harvest from dragonkin for you?
They have to be dragons, not kin. Age does not matter too much. However, the older the dragon, the more valuable their parts are.
And what would the payments be for, will you be looking at for fresh dragon pots?
Well, in addition to the purchase you've already agreed upon, I'm willing to throw in at least one magic item for the other compatriots of yours, in addition to some potions that I think will be useful. And upon you returning with one dragon heart, at least 3 claws, and 100 pounds of scale, that will be debt paid. Anything above that will be bonus platinum in your pocket and or trade for other, and she kind of gestures around, magical items. Perhaps a wand of fireball. Those
I,
items should be easy to get from one dragon. And if you
I,
hunt more, well, bonus.
How much can your container hold? That seems to be a large weight for.
The container can roughly hold around 1,000 pounds of organic matter. However, the container will not accept things that are past its primer usage.
I don't see a downside in this deal, so I definitely will agree to these terms.
Sure.
Fantastic. In that case, she and a paper comes out contract. And what do I have up that I have this weird
I would like
echo
to read
for?
the fine print this time. The last
Oh,
time I made
sure.
a deal, it was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I kind of sold my
Yeah.
soul a bit, so
Give me a investigation roll, Nekusar. And I will give you advantage as Seymour and Fabius are like, oh yeah, we're contract pros. And they're helping.
Yes, we'll help.
19, okay? So, um, as you're looking around, there's not any teeny tiny print. Everything appears to be Times New Roman, size 12 font, double spaced. The stipulations basically are that here are these particular items. At least one more additional magic item for the people that aren't getting something. So Fabius will get one, Virgil will get one, and Seymour will get one, and by proxy, Vale will eventually get one. So one of you will just get an extra one that you'll be kind enough to pass on to Vale once you're reunited with him. And in addition to an assortment of potions at their discretion, they expect some sort of, if not payment in full, then at least some partial payments. So for you guys to come back with some draconic parts within a 3-month timeline. Months are 30 days, so this is 90 days. Should you fail to do so, for each month you are late, one magic item that you was given will vanish at random times.
so we don't pay for these items up front, then, or
No. So this is she's giving you these items as as a advance for you to bring back the 150 pounds of scale, the 4 claws, and the 1 dragon heart. So upon you bringing these items back, then she considers debt paid. You're even Stevens. You still have to pay for your 2 cloaks and your wand. That's not part of the deal. This is separate. You're paying for the cloaks and wands. In addition to this, though, is Fabius, Seymour, Vale, Virgil will each get at least one magic item. In
sweet.
addition to random potions that she will decide. So, and then within 90 days, you have to come back with something. If you don't come back with something, then 30 days later, one of the 4 magic items will disappear.
So on the 90th day does something destroy, or the 120th day?
With it by the 120th day.
Gotcha. That's what I have
Not
written.
day 90. You've got a 30-day leeway here, a month leeway. Travel time is a bitch.
No fast travel?
And you know what? If you got teleport and you got a circle here, mega happy, Captain. But so yeah, as soon as the 4th month rolls, then you are in against terms, and one magic item will just be gone. If at such a point where all 4 magic items will be gone, then a bounty will be put on your respective heads. Up to include the cost of all of the items, to include the potions.
Hmm.
I'm over here wondering what it is I'm listening to. It's the ambient sounds of Baldur's Gate.
Lots of rooster crows.
Lots of rooster crows and some ambient conversation and minor things in the background. But Nekasar, you don't see any like fine print that says, after 4 months of being gone, I will summon the evil storm of Baylor to bring forth the armies of the undead to come after you and rip your soul from your body. Just the put a bounty on your head. Do the terms look agreeable?
Seeing as the luck we have had so far on our journey, having about 10 friends of ours adventuring with us pass, watched the whole party switch out, us getting robbed and mugged, I have to ask, what happens under the terms that I don't return, or the container is no longer in our possession?
Well, if you don't return and or the container is no longer in your possession, if it's the latter, I suggest you get it back in your possession, because failure to return to me with payment is you defaulting on the agreement. Should you default on the agreement, then every month thereafter that you have defaulted and are late, one of the magical items will disappear from your party's grasp, and at such a time that the X amount of time has passed, such as the 4 months thereafter, then I place the bounty on all of your heads, each respectfully the amount of today's handoff. So, for example, if the total of 4 magic items and the potions that I have yet to decide to give you, let's say for example, that comes out to 10,000 gold pieces, then I will put a 10,000 gold piece bounty on each of your heads. Not total, together, each one of you.
Anybody have anything they say before we sign this? Because it appears we are all in this if I sign my name here.
Oh no, you will all need to sign if I'm providing this to all.
I'll scratch down my name.
Okay. Tal signs his. Virgil signs his. By proxy, Seymour signs his. As you look at the paper, strange like tiny mites appear, and a signature that you don't recognize looks kind of like Vale, but then disappears, but signs the contract as well.
What? What?
Well, I guess since I signed the last one first, I should sign this one last. So, he signs.
Okay. And as soon as you sign, you can all see like all of your signatures like flash, and then the paper and like rolls itself up, goes into her hand before she twirls her hand around and the paper disappears. And then she looks to you, Dekasar, and she has her hand on the 3 pieces of paper and goes, your 4,400 gold, please.
Tal, pay the lady.
And Tal pays the 4,400 gold.
Hmm.
Just one last thing before we go.
Oh, we're
If
not
you
done yet, right? We gotta get them items.
if you want dragon pots,
Hmm.
it would be beneficial for you to give us anything that could help slay a dragon, and we will be returning sooner with more plunder for you.
I'll keep that in mind. And when she spreads the 3 pages back out and she, bam! And when she smacks the wand, and when she lifts her hand out, she's grasping the wand out of the paper and hands you the wand of the war mage. And then she, bam! Smacks the other paper and starts pulling out and out and out and out and out and out and out a black cloak, which she tosses to you, Nekasar, smacks the other paper and pulls out the blue cloak that she throws at Tao. And once the items are removed from the paper like crumbles up and becomes like very brittle, and you can just watch as she like barely brushes it, and they just crumble into dust, and the arcane nature thereof removed from them, and so they are no longer viable pieces of vellum. Then she looks back to you, Fabius, and she goes, "Well, did you like the sword or the great axe?"
Um, the great axe.
Okay, pulls out the great axe paper, smacks it, and then starts like pulling the great axe out, and thump! It falls. Well, it doesn't fall, but it basically falls onto the table, and again, the paper gone. You have a vicious great axe. Easiest way to do this, guys, just go to D&D Beyond, add these items there, and we'll sync it down into Foundry here in a minute. And
I already added them in Foundry.
oh, you found out how to do that?
Oh yeah.
Virgil's going to be very basic. Just get a crossbow +1. And by proxy, Veil Spirit that is here. What would Veil Spirit request that is kind of whispered in the back of Nekasar's mind that doesn't know why he's getting, but he is getting?
That'd be considered cloak of protection, correct?
Yeah,
Sure.
Cloak of Protection +1.
Mmm.
You already got a dope-ass weapon. Need some more AC. Like a scale +1.
Yeah, probably simple and easy like that.
Okay. Because that'll bring you up to a 17 armor class, so that'll be good. So different pages come up. A crossbow +1 comes up for Virgil, and this set of scale mail that you're not sure why you're requesting, Nekasar, but you are, is handed over to you, and you just like, I'm gonna store this for later. As far as the potions are concerned,
Would you like me to add that armor now, even though I don't technically have it? Or...
yeah, you can add it to your D&D Beyond, and then we'll sync up, and we'll sync up between one and the other. What does Seymour say? A weapon, I think. So sword plus. All right, so Seymour is getting a weapon. So, picture of a long sword comes out, and basic +1 long sword is given to Seymour. All right. So, what she brings out, excuse me, as far as the pages of potions that she's going to be giving you, she has 6 pages, and they are all the same thing. And at the same time that she hits them all at the same time, they vanish, and there's 6 of these potions. Um, and do. Go, searchy, searchy. The the potions themselves, they look very thick and syrupy, and they're kind of the color of iron. They're kind of like a dark gray color. They look gritty almost. They look like metal shavings inside of a bottle, and there's 6 of them. And as she puts her hands over the lot of 6, looking towards you, Nakusar, since you've been the particular talker of the group, she says, since you have had some issues in the past and you are hunting dragons for me, I think these, as she taps them, will come in handy. Would use them in a time of great need, as they are not easy to make, and the last of, well, our current stock, to be fair. These will enhance your body's ability to resist all forms that would harm you. For a short time.
How short of a time? Approximately.
About a minute. Depending on your current, depending on your digestive situation. But for that long, even dragon fire wouldn't hurt as much as it normally would.
That does sound quite nice.
These are called potions of invulnerability. And they give you resistance to all damage. And there are 6 of them. And this is what potions she has decided to offer up as part of the total bargain here. So, magic items, 6 potions of invulnerability.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. You've been more than helpful to us. I hope we have a swift return with everything and more that you've asked for.
I hope you do too, but I'm also very interested in the story as well. That, as she looks over to Seymour, you look like you could tell it in a entertaining way, and Seymour goes, pew! There's he casts prestidigitation to create fireworks, and he goes, most definitely, very entertaining.
Okay.
Dear Tal, remove all this gold. Now you're down to 200 gold.
Yeah.
But she got some good items. That wand requires attunement too, Nekasar. Just make sure you have that marked attuned, so that any
What was
bonuses thereof.
what was the name of that great axe?
Vicious Great Axe.
Vicious.
Mm-hmm. Yep. If you just start typing VIC within D&D Beyond, it's like one of the last ones. Vicious Great Axe.
Okay.
So basically, what happens with the Vicious Great Axe, when you roll a natural 20, the target takes an additional 7 points of slashing damage. And for the purposes of overcoming resistances, it counts as a magical weapon. It's not a +1, but for if you're fighting against another barbarian who's resistant to slashing damage, they're not resistant to magical slashing damage unless there's a particular path of barbarian, but blah blah blah, here nor there. But as you all collect your magical items, say your farewells, and walk out to the tent, it's about time for finding that inn, having that meal, having that long rest, and we'll come back after our break. We'll take a break, come back, maybe another player will join us, perhaps. We'll see. We'll be back here just a few minutes, everybody, while we go take a potty break, get a drink, get a snack, and update our character sheets, and we'll be back. Is this the right button? Nope. There we go. There's the button. Push it on the buttons. Welcome back. I think that was like our shortest break ever. That's kind of cool. So, Oh, what? What foul language did you say? What? 7 messages were deleted by a moderator. What did you... Well, now I'm curious. That's odd.
Got fan mail.
Frick is vulgar? No. No, that's not right. That should not be considered vulgar. Only things that are obscene to sexualities. Those are really the only things that we have listed as vulgar. I'll have to fix that. Note to self. Fix it so we can say fuck. Because I fucking say fuck. Fuck.
It's part of your quote, right? Fuck you, die damage? Is that what
Roll
you say?
fuck you die damage. That's right. It's there. Yep. I don't know. Sneck, thanks for figuring that out for us. We'll fix it. But, hello, welcome back. Here we go. So, after you all signed the agreement at the magic shop, to get any advancement on some items of power, in return, bring her some draconic goodies. You were given a storage container that would... It kind of shrinks into a cube, so it fits in someone's normal, regular bag, but you are warned to not put it inside of a bag of holding. Otherwise, you will create a tear interdimensional space. You'll be thrown into any kind of random planar environment to die a terrible, horrible death. So don't do that. But It shrinks down to about a box shape,
That sounds like a
and
way to
there's
kill a dragon.
it does, doesn't it? And then there's a button that you can push, and the box just starts growing, and it's about the size of a cooler, is what it turns out to be. Um, Inside the cooler, though, seems to be an infinite amount of space. As what they do is they show you, they put 12 vials inside this space. These vials contain some sort of light yellow liquid. What she tells you, this particular liquid helps in the collection of blood to stop the blood from congealing. Anticoagulants. So as she starts putting things the the cooler, the the item like shrinks teeny tiny itty bitty in order for the total space to accommodate. So Nekasar, part of your notes, you would have put you have 12 vials for blood collection, just so somebody has it and it's not this guy. And then when you're done, you close the lid. There's a different button, and then it shrinks back into a small box that can fit easily into someone's regular bag. With again the warning: should you put it inside of a bag of holding, chances are you'll die. Good luck. And then you left the shop with the evening to selves. Excuse me. Late, very late day. Actually, towards almost night at this point, as the sun is at that nice crested spot where there's just a bit of light that shines, but the sun itself is gone. For some of you, there's rumblies in your tumblies, and you realize you haven't had second, third, fourth, sixth, seventh, or 16th breakfast today, and you're hungry, thirsty. Some of you might have a little bit of gas, but looking for a place to stay.
We have gas. He's a dwarf.
Seymour knows.
Well, we're going to head out and see if we can find a pub or somewhere to get food and some libations.
I believe we have a place that we can stay at the theater. Do we not?
So you were asked that earlier today, Seymour, and you told this particular group that based on your kind of inclination of the place, you and Fabius would have a place to stay, but you're not sure about everybody else. And
Got
so
it.
you suggested perhaps you all try to find a place in the market district instead of the lower city in the upper city that would be closer to where the information is.
That makes sense.
Okay.
All right,
Good for
we're in the market district now, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the area that you suggested they try to find a communal place to be. You did ask a preference as far as cost, and you suggested a place with baths, giving a very stern look to Fabius, who claims to be a clean dwarf, but you haven't seen him clean himself once since you knew him. And the general consensus was not a cheap place, so that's where you're at.
libations are important.
All right, I'm gonna look around and see. I'm going to look and find somebody who's a merchant that is well dressed, and then ask them for directions.
Okay. Give me a survival check. Oh, you can't. I've got to do it. Fuck.
I was like,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah, me too. I'm sitting here like, where's this fucking survival roll? Don't worry, I got it. Clickety click, click, click. Go, Seymour, go. Seymour with a 10. It's, you're looking around for some people who are well-dressed, hoity-toity kind of people. You do find a couple, but they look at you like you're fucking retarded. And, are just in general kind of jackasses. But eventually, you do find where there's a couple places are suggested to you. One being the Golden Lion, and another called the White Stallion. Uh-oh, hang on. Components! You done fucked up, didn't you, Nekusar? You gonna go back and try to renegotiate your contract?
Do that offline.
Do you know what components you want, Nekusar?
I had a list, but I don't remember what happened to it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to go through everything again.
Okay. We'll figure that out offline then.
Okay, thank you.
Easy enough to get the components from her as part of, within reason. Depending what it is, within reason. The debt just the debt will increase, that's all.
Okay, I don't think it's anything too crazy.
So we will adjust what has to be collected to offset the debt. So just get a list, get with Tal too. I'm sure he needs something. If any of you need any kind of components for future endeavors, let Nekusar's now the point of contact for that, is Nekusar's negotiating. Send that to them, even if it's higher level stuff. They were kind of in character but not in character warned that it would be some time before they were ever back into a big city where some more rare spell components could be found.
Within 90 days. Maximum
You hope.
under 120, we hope.
So, anything that's got a gold cost, get with Nekusar, so that come August 6th when we come back, that'll already be figured out, and go from there. But which particular end are you all looking towards?
One that has a pub.
Well,
It has very good libations.
you are pushed more towards the Golden Lion then.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Oh,
As you head towards the western corner of Upper City, which again, Upper City is the more market area. You after some directions and things, you do come across what's called the Golden Lion, and this place is massive. It's about 4 stories and fairly wide, with a large storage section off to the side. No horses, no stables, which is normal in Baldur's Gate. Horses, dogs, wagons of any sorts just aren't even allowed inside the city, let alone cats. No bigger. None of that is just allowed. It's just a thing. Excuse me. As you walk into this place, the main doors are kind of a brass color, and the hinges are copper, and there's these two large pillars. And the way that the pillars are shaped, the bottom half is the bottom of the lion, and it's like on its hind legs at the top, holding the awning, are giant lion heads. Going into this place, it's immaculate. It's obviously not a poor establishment. There are all kinds of things that can be had and bartered for, and asked for, and traded. There is a stage where there are current performers. There's quite a few people in here, but still, a table or two can be made as far as you guys are one group, kind of um, strongly suggest that two small groups share one table so you all can share one for yourselves. Um, Food is fantastic. Drinks are fantastic. Those who partake of bathing, it's amazing. Those who partake in extracurricular activities, do so. For the night, each of you will spend 5 gold. And that's the night. That's the food, wine, baths, and any sort of, again, extracurriculars. There are different skill sets on hand. You would note that there are scribes on hand. There are different tutors on hand. They have a space where you can learn to dance. They have a small library where you can do some light reading. They have a steam bath area. They have a communal bath in addition to private baths. This is a well-off establishment. So you will each spend, again, 5 gold, and you'll have a long rest. You will be rested, fantastic, feel great. Is there anything that's in particular that you want to do that needs to be talked about, or can we just bloop to the next day?
We can go ahead and just bloop.
Yeah? Alright. I'm a fan of blooping, so we're just gonna bloop next day. The following day, breakfast part of your guys' payment to the 5 gold. Breakfast is great. It's filling. They do have breakfast beer for those of you who are so inclined, and the day is yours. Tal does suggest going back up north to the outer gate, to the northern outer gate, to see if there's any new information.
I agree with you on that. We should really keep tabs on this convoy.
Yes.
Okay.
How many days did you say my trip was taking?
You are finally about to hit Baldur's Gate, my friend.
Okay.
This is that day. So the Not Vale group heading back north, looking for Akin. One of his assistants tells you he's in town finishing some business and he'll be back in the afternoon. But you are told that there are a few people who have purchased some caravans if you want to go and investigate these particular groups to see if they're anything that you are looking for. The assistant doesn't know what you're looking for, but was told of your possible arrival and to pass along the information.
Yeah, we should try to scope it out.
Okay. Then Nekusar, and Fabius, give me separate investigation rolls. Seymour needs an investigation roll. Virgil needs an investigation roll. Tal needs an investigation roll.
I are investigator.
Nekusar's so smart. Nekusar's over here like, man, I need a prismatic diamond. I need the blood of a greater demon. What else do I need from that old biddy? So looking around the different caravans, probably a few hours into your investigation, you do come across one that doesn't really advertise being draconic in any way, except for, and Tal swears that when a particular veil was pushed back on one of the individual people, oh my god, what are those things called? Oh man, the man carried enclosures. Oh my god, I can't think of the word. Oh my gosh, this is going to mess with me. What are those things called? I can't think of what it's called. But somebody inside of like a private box that's on two poles that four people are carrying. Can't think of the word. It's gone. But Tal swears that he saw a familiar face pulled back from that thing, as it was the face of something that was dead, or he thought was dead, in that that camp. One of the people, but too far away to get a good look. And so, not wanting to press things, you all head back towards Atkins' tent. And as you go to that shop, the assistant sees you all and just kind of points to Atkins' actual tent versus the shop tent. And as you all walk in there, you see sitting behind a table is Atkin, and a very weary Vale is inside the tent, just talking to this guy. Talking to Atkin.
Okay.
I tell you, I need some black gates, because they gotta be black. And they're gates.
You are in the Black Gate District. This is it. I don't understand why you're so confused, sir.
Fine. So many things that I want to see this golden lion they talking about too, man. That's a beautiful thing.
Oh my gosh, it's not a thing, it's a place.
Vale? Vale, is that you?
Ah, Nekusar,
How did
my
you
friend.
get here?
I tell you, Your directions were totally wrong. I found my way here.
Did you use a map?
No,
Did you finally learn?
I didn't need no map. The boats, the sea, the ocean, that's where it's at.
I swear I never would have saw you again. Come to my surprise.
Well, I am here. Uh, only me though.
what what happened to the smoker?
Apparently, he wanted to be so close to his god for directions that he went to him.
I see.
He died, I think.
We
But
investigated
I
for you
roared, I
before
scared
leaving
them
town.
away.
We tried to search for you and we only found trails of blood, so we assumed the worst and we couldn't find you before our ship sailed. It is
Well,
shocking you're here.
after what we've been through, there's a lot of blood all over the place. I don't know why they didn't call that Green Town. That's no longer Green Blood Town, because that would work great. Bloodist, that would be great. You have other people I have never met before. Hi, you people.
I take this as this is an acquaintance of all of you.
Yes, I am the acquaintance. Quaint. How
Quaint.
quaint. How quaint.
I think I heard them say Vale. I am Seymour, and this is Fabius, my companion.
Oh, pleasure to
Fabius
meet you.
is here.
I don't know what more you can see, but hello, Fabius.
Hello, Vale. How are you?
I am fine.
You look like you made it. I'm glad you're here.
Glad to be here. It's fun and nice. This is a very big place. Must be a very big gate this Baldur guy has.
Well,
Well, I
we
take
have.
it that this caravan that Vale is with is probably not one we're looking
Yes, a van that cares. We need those, right? Isn't that what we were trying to track?
for.
That is, and we are waiting for it now. Atkin, perhaps you have any information? Have you heard any words or seen anything?
Um, actually, yes. A writer just came in. Uh, not just a little while ago. The caravan from El Terrell should be arriving tomorrow. They are they are expected to, again, as per how things usually work here, sell their caravans and wagons in one of the other outer cities, either the east or southeast. And if they are following the information that you provided, Nekusar, they will have to buy new wagons here. If they again choose to continue along the tradesway. As far as your group that is supposed to be coming from the south of us, I haven't heard anything um, yet, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. They may need to get a ferry to cross the Cheontha River into Baldur's Gate. But again, they will have to sell their wagons on the other side of the river. And if they are following the tradesway north, they'll be here. So
we're looking at least 2 more days.
that's my guess. Depending on how fast or slow they are.
Wait a minute. You guys actually beat the people we were following here? How did you pass them on the road without them noticing you?
Well, you said it yourself. It's a sailor's life.
Aha.
The boats are faster than the people walking.
This is true. And they are fun to move around, sails and stuff.
But
I even made shiny these coin you guys have. I'll huddle up a bag of coin and shake it. See? They paid me for my work.
Tal just looks at you, Vale, and just goes,
Yes, thank
I'm
you. I knew.
actually impressed, Vale. Well done.
Thank you.
That's the Torm's way. Charge for your services.
Well, I believe if the caravan that we're looking for will be here within the day or two, maybe one person can scout and see what they're carrying and see if that's approaching.
I bet I could do it. I'm great with directions.
Arkin goes, you could, I guess, try that. Or you could take the time to try to get hired on with the other wagons. Again, if they're going to go north, they're going to wait for a larger group, and there's already people buying wagons from me and some competitors to head north. And unless you want to try to be guards for the cult, which you definitely can try.
Well, maybe we hype ourselves up as one of the best guards in town, and maybe with the help of our friends, they'll be more inclined to join our group. So then we can keep an eye on them.
I don't understand. So wait, you want us to find another group of fans that care that are going the same direction?
He just starts rubbing his temples. Yes, you need to find other vans that care, going in the same direction on a map that makes no sense, towards a destination that is not known, in hopes of learning where they may or may not camp permanently.
That's silly. Why would we not know where we are going? That is the whole point of this, right?
The whole point is to find out where they are going.
Okay, but this other people that we are supposed to be hired on as, how do we know they are going? Okay, so they are going the same direction, but what if the road changes direction and they go one and the other people go the other?
Then maybe you should wait until the cult arrives and gather some information from them. Maybe you can butter up or get one of the cultists drunk enough to tell you at least how far or how long they will stick with the caravan.
Let me just clarify this. I will not put butter on anybody, but okay.
You don't know what you're missing.
I believe buttering up would be my specialty. That is an excellent idea.
Yes, I believe we should try to possibly infiltrate the ranks when there's a few stragglers around here, just to press them for some information.
As a quick note, there are, well, now 6 of you. Most caravans do not hire 6. It's usually 2 to 3. It's the typical is that each caravan will hire 2 to 3 guards, and those 2 to 3 will be responsible basically for that section of caravan in addition to, whoever's paying you. It's assumed that the guards will help the entire caravan, not just the particular one that hired you.
Well, that should be easy, though, right? I mean, think about it. Even if they only hire like 2 or 3 of us, what if we just say the others won't work for anything? How about that? They'll take us on.
Well, what if we do this? What if a couple of us pretend to be heading in that direction, hiring the other 3 as guards, and we go in that way?
Then I
You know,
would
we
suggest you have your own team of caravans. Because you would then stick out very, very much that you do not have a caravan following caravans.
and how much would be like a small caravan? I would say.
I got my gold here. That's certainly enough, right?
No, they pay us to guard. We don't pay them to guard.
But didn't you just say they only take 2 or 3 of us? What are the other 2 or 3 going to be doing?
Well, there should be multiple teams of vans that care.
So the other 3 will join
A different
different group in the same caravan.
I just got to back together with you guys, and now you want to break apart again? What's wrong with you?
That doesn't mean we won't be stopping together. We'll be stopping together. We'll just be guarding our own area unless something comes up, and we guard the whole thing. We just take orders from that specific group.
Well, okay, as long as they aren't dragon people. Wait a minute. You are very purple.
Yes, I am a dragon person.
You should fit right in with the cultists then, right? Isn't that what the point is?
Not necessarily. All cultists are dragon people. We all don't see. I would say that.
Oh, we had another dragon person, but he died. So now you are his friend.
Well, maybe you should hang around some of the tents or saloons near my shop. At least you get a good eye as far as this northern section, and decide from there.
Very well.
Unfortunately, my business is here. I deal in the wagons. I don't deal in any goods, so I don't have anything to offer you as far as a reason to be your own caravan. All I can offer you is my name and as a reference for any of the other caravans.
Very well. I will find somewhere someone can hang.
You are a very weird one.
I will see if we can find someone to split a pint with and get them to talk a little.
Yeah, Fabius, I think we can handle that very well.
I think we could get somebody to talk over a pint.
Okay.
Hey,
If I hear anything else, just stop in at least once a day. Whatever I know, I will freely share with you all.
we will be checking in. So, we're gonna head down to where some of the caravans are putting together. See if we can find someone who looks like they will spill some information over a pint or two.
Okay. All right.
I think
Go ahead.
I said that while they're doing that, I think I might go back to maybe the docks and see if any of the people that were on boats are trying to get with the caravan as well. Maybe I can use my. Maybe I feel a little confident because I've been around a boat now that maybe other people might want to, go if they're traveling with a caravan. Maybe I can find someone to travel with.
Okay. All right. All right.
In Vale's fancy way of talking.
Um. Virgil is going to go with you, Vale, because Virgil's not a talker and wants to make sure you don't get lost and you come back on time and in relative one piece.
Well, we were never given a time to come back. So.
That exactly. That's why. That's why Virgil's coming with you. Nekusar, where are you and Tal gonna do as Fabius and Seymour are looking for somebody to butter up? Vale is going to the docks with Virgil. What is Tal and Nekusar doing?
I'd say we'll probably join Seymour and Fabius to go try to chat with people, I guess.
All righty. Perfect. In that case, let's zone into Vale. Vale hasn't had a whole lot of screen time. Let's zone into Vale as the V team, the Vale and Virgil, Team V.
I get it.
As you two make your way back to the docks, Virgil is completely surprised because, like a sixth sense, a sense that you can't understand, you know exactly where to go. You don't need directions. You just feel it. Also, you're walking south, which is like walking downhill, so you like that about it.
Totally
It's just
makes
kind of just a natural thing. So, as you get down into the docks and you're asking around the area as for some information about some strange individuals who have appeared and or anybody who would be joining any wagon teams up north, because you and your friend Virgil here are just looking for some work as you are as a caravan guard. So with advantage, give me a survival check.
Okay. Wonderful rolls.
You waste all those natural 20s.
I know.
With a a 15. So probably about 3 hours down at the docks, really talking to some people, going from um, one barge to another barge. Um, the bit of interesting information that you get is about you hear a couple rumors about a group of individuals on the opposite side of the Chianthar River, which is the river that you sailed on. There's a large group of people that have just quickly sold their wagons at very cheap prices, have hired multiple barges without batting eyes and trying to haggle, which this is the docks. You always haggle. Nobody ever agrees to the
First
insane
price.
initial first prices. It never happens. But this group didn't bat an eye. And 10 barges are hired out to carry them and their stuff over. And as you're hearing this bit, they're kind of pointed out to you, and you can see they just looks like normal, regular people. There's no insignias to be seen. There's nothing that stands out as far as who they may or may not belong to. But something about them is just off-putting. And so you and Virgil kind of just make your way over, and maybe they need some particular guards. And it's not so much what you see or what you hear, but it's something that you smell that you just stop. As whenever you were captive, one of the things you absolutely hated were those giant blue land drakes. And they had a very particular odor. And while you don't see any of them, you do smell them. And you do get a little bit of information that they are headed to the northern outer district for more wagons, and they hire a few dock workers to carry their stuff. And seeing you and Virgil, one of them comes up to you and goes, "You want to make some coin? We got shit that needs to be carried."
As much as Vale actually hates that scent, I think he sees this as an opportunity for information. So he's going to say, "Okay, I will help. What do you need to do?"
He just the person just gestures um, to like this pile of crates that are currently being unloaded from the barges. And he just goes, "Each of you just grab a crate, follow the line. Once you are at your destination, easy 20 gold."
All right, I will do this, but Vale is going to be very interested in without like opening the crates to see if he can find anything about what's inside of these crates. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Um,
Or maybe do it where he knows no one's not looking. I don't know. If they're not sealed like that tight, I don't know.
they are just regular like crates and barrels. There's not a very easy way to see what's inside, but um, Give me an investigation roll.
Okie dokie. Ha!
With that solid natural 1, what you do is you pick up a crate that's obviously bigger than what you should be carrying, and you just can't see over it, but barely enough to keep walking in line. You do hear different whispers about them needing wagons, that there was a group that already went on ahead, and that the rest should be here within a day or two. But nothing as far as what is in it, what you're carrying. It's heavy, this particular crate. And it takes you probably a better part of an hour to get the crate through Baldur's Gate, actually out to where they want it, as you're not a particularly strong individual initially.
True.
So you have to sit it down, take a break for a minute, for picking it back up and going because you're still trying to get some information. Virgil just right there along with you, and as you make your way, making your way to the outer gate, the north outer gate, your arms are just you're so jelly, and not even sailing on the Chianthar was this bad. This is just ugh. But you drop some things off, and what you are able to see is they pop open one of these crates, not one that you were carrying, but one somebody else was carrying, and it's just full of coins, and that's how they are paying people. And so you get 20 gold. Virgil actually gets 2 platinum pieces, and as you're collecting your money, you're just really tired. You're really tired. That box is so fucking heavy. But you've got some information to potentially share with people. See what happens when you collaborate together. For you at this particular point, Vale, it's probably about 3 in the afternoon or so. For you and Virgil.
Right.
And Virgil, kind of looking around, doesn't really see anybody. He just kind of goes, maybe we should go back to the inn we were staying at. I'm sure they'll show up eventually. Besides, you wanted to see the Golden Lion.
Yes, it's got to be a big cat. I gotta see it. All right, fine.
It's monstrous. It's Virgil or Vale. I'm Virgil. Vale,
What?
it'll eat you.
Oh,
But it's
should
so
be my
cool.
friend. It shall be my friend. That is how it's gonna be. Fine.
We'll see.
Let us go. We will wait for them here while I go pet this lion.
Okay. So he leads you over to the Golden Lion. And you look at this and you go, there's nothing lion about this. It's a fucking building. I hate civilization. You're all stupid.
Yeah, why name something when it's not there? Jesus.
The only thing that even resembles a golden lion is these 2 pillars that hold up the awning. On the inside, though, because you specifically are looking for it, there is on the wall a mounted lion head and mane that appears to be solid gold.
What? That is not the. He's not alive. This is wrong.
But Virgil shows you how things work. You get drinks and eats because you're probably hungry and thirsty.
Yeah.
And, things like massages, baths, saunas. Somebody teach you how to use a map. Basically, can all be found here. So we'll transition over to the group who stayed in the Blackgate district of the northern outer area, Outgate. Heading towards the section where a lot of the wagons are being staged. A lot of the teams are being kind of put together, and you're looking for, well, Fabius and Seymour, specifically looking for someone you can get sauced enough to give you some information.
Okay.
Because that's what you said, was you're looking for somebody that you can butter up. So, either the two of you can roll a perception separate, or one of you can have advantageous.
I guess do them separate and see, because
Okay,
we would both be looking for maybe different people.
sure. Nekusar, what are you and Tal looking for?
We would be looking for.
I'm going to do a luck and roll that one again.
Okay. Go for
I
it.
guess mostly any sign of the cult,
Yeah, that's better.
or if we can't see any sign of the cult, we'd probably be looking for anybody who looks like they would need assistance on the road or have been on the road for a long time and might have seen something, kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody who's been on the road for a long time, it seems like, or anything about the cult.
Okay. That's a little bit more in depth. So that would be an investigation roll. You can either roll separate, or we can give one of you advantage. What would Nekusar like to do?
It's just easier if I roll with advantage.
Sure. Okay. And now, Seymour, we gotta roll your perception check. Normal roll. Jesus, guys!
Wow.
What is with this 2020 and the natural fucking 20, Seymour? Seriously? Seriously?
Hey,
Quit.
I rolled low on my survival, so take it.
Hey, I'll
I'm
take
out.
it. If I'm not the one
Really
rolling,
want to see.
I'll take it.
Woo.
I quit.
Hey, I'm looking for somebody to drink with.
Yeah. I quit. I'm out. Goodbye. Avita Zane. Adios. Game is over. Thanks for coming. So you all find different things. Fabius, you find you're looking not, I don't want to say at, but what you notice is a particular strong halfling who
Okay.
seems to be going to almost every horse for multiple wagon teams. Going through the horses, making sure they're brushed, making sure they have blankets for where the saddles go, checking hooves, checking for spurs, like just the sheer level of detail that this particular person gives to these horses. What you notice about this person is that they keep talking to, it looks like, a merchant and or wealthy individual of the wagon group, and obviously some coin is exchanged for this person's particular service. Kind of just following them around, not in like stalkerish way, but just generic, walking around, making sure they're always within eyesight. There's a couple of times that you see that when this particular person goes from one job to the other, before they do so, they go to a local tent that has just frothy mugs out of the table for a couple coins. You just take your quick drink of frothy deliciousness and then go back to your particular work.
Now, this is
After
a
they,
halfling.
yeah, after the halfling leaves, you kind of go up to one of these tents, and it's an ale tent. And for 3 copper, you could have any one of these particular mugs of ale, consume it in the couple of drinks, and be on your way. And for 3 copper, it's not terrible. It's no silver ale or golden ale, but you have about 60, 70 of these, and you'll be right as rain. Um, they're obviously watered down. It's kind of a hot day, but it's not terribly warm.
Refreshment.
It's refreshing. It's have your drink and go on your way. Um, so the halfling in particular does this a couple of times, and towards the later part of the evening, after learning their particular schedule, you figure out which tent they're going to be at next, and you are already there drinking when they walk up and throw 3 copper on the counter, push it towards the person behind the tent, and they go, "I'll take the normal." And the person behind the counter fills up, because it's closer to evening at this point, fills up a silver tankard, not the wooden ones that's out on the table, a silver one straight from the barrel itself, and sets it down and goes, "You're a little short." And she goes, "Piss off," and sets down 2 more copper, presses it across, picks up the, for them, large taker, and just starts chug, 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 and just wipes the froth off their face, sets down, and what does Fabius do?
So he goes over and he kind of nudges him. He goes, "How do we get one of those?"
They look over at you, and now that you can get a really good look, this particular halfling is defined upper body strength, not like heavy built, but defined muscles. Very, other than some dirt and maybe the smell of horse poop about their general person, you can see different shearing tools and brushes all about their waist. Now they have this wicked scar that goes from the top left of their forehead down their nose and across their cheek, and they kind of look you up and down and go, "Well, you just have to ask nicely."
Well, how about I get one for each of us?
buying me a drink, are you?
We'll buy you a drink.
And they look over at the person that's standing behind the counter of the tent and goes, oh, I heard the man. He's buying me a drink. Take a couple more silvers, if you will. And the guy goes,
Okay.
he takes the silver mug, fills it up, sets it down in front of the halfling person, and gets another mug, fills it up, and just kind of sets it down, but has their hand out like, that's 10 copper, 1 silver.
We'll pay the man.
Okay. So your discretion, if you're going to do 10 copper or 1 silver, just mark that down. Paying the person, not an issue, and sliding it over. When you take a drink, this ale is a little different. Now that you're holding on to this silver mug, the mug itself is cold, and so
Ooh.
also is the ale inside, and it's kind of hearty, kind of thick, but still pretty good.
Still pretty good. All right. So we'll strike up a conversation with the halflings.
Okay.
How, you know, um, how do we get in with you guys? Is it possible to get in with you guys and just kind of learn what all is going on?
Sure. Give me a persuasion check, Fabius. With advantage, because you did spend a little bit of coin. um, so you learned that the halfling's name is Teresa,
Okay.
and they say that, in order to get into their particular trade, you just have to be really good with horses. And every wagon team worth their salt always pays to have their horses checked out, just to make sure there's no spurs, cracked hooves, any sort of open wounds, anything in the horse that could slow down the travel from here. And they do tell you that the typical travel from here is to Waterdeep. They also give you quite a bit more information. They tell you that from here to Waterdeep is roughly 750 miles. And that the trek by wagon from here to Waterdeep should take about 2 months.
Okay. Has there been any any odd caravans getting put together here in just the last couple days?
At this particular time of night, or evening, I'll say, not necessarily night, but evening, they do tell you, they go, I'll tell you over another pint.
We can do that.
Okay. So another drink is had. Actually, you mark down, if you're still having the good shit, it's 1 silver or 10 copper, your choice. They tell you that the most recent thing that was struck as odd was a large group of people carrying these crates, barrels, and other different sized containers from the docks to this northern section and hiring out quite a few wagons. But they didn't really care about the horses. And so Teresa's like, those fucking bastards are probably gonna run those horses to death. And, I just hope that the horse god Horus kills them all.
We could, now, I got a couple of friends. We could, make sure that happens.
They kind of look at you like, there are guards about, and there are a lot of them. I'm asking for a miracle, not a suicide mission.
We're just talking.
Well, when you get a couple in you, you talk very loudly. So talk quieter. And then they, kind of brush their hand like across the side of your face, and the guy go, I hate for something bad to happen to you.
Yeah, I noticed your what's the word I'm looking for? Your
My amazing physique, my voluptuous bosom, my scar across my face.
yeah, the scar. How did you get that? If you don't mind talking about it.
No.
It's like a badge of honor.
I made the choice between protecting a filly or letting it die. And this was... I got in the way of it being put down due to a broken leg. This is what I got for doing so.
No, it's a badge. It's a badge of honor.
Oh, that horse went on to win many races. So, yes. Definitely a badge of honor.
Whoa. That deserves another drink.
And they go, yeah, that old man, it deserves another drink. And you two, you chatted up for however long you wish to. Towards the close of the evening,
Yeah.
they invite you back to their house.
Okay. And we'll go.
Okay. Let's see. Let's go to Nekusar! The rock and roll song there.
On the
What?
way.
Yep.
On the way, do I see where Seymour is, or
Not a clue.
not a clue? Okay.
So focused on the information you were getting, the drinks, and the company, that by the time the evening is coming to a close and you were invited back home, kind of like the rest of that is blah, 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 blah.
Understand.
That'll be an adventure for the morning. Nekusar, with your dirty 20,
Yes.
it does not take very long for you to notice this large group of individuals carrying crates from who knows where, but there's a ton of them, and there's somebody buying up a lot of wagons and just kind of poking around and looking like you do. You do see, carrying some of these things, Vale and Virgil, who pay no attention to you as their arms are jiggly jelly. They've dropped off their stuff. They got paid, and that's what really gets you, is when they open up the crates to pay these people, you can see with your your fucking vision that you get because you're a cheater. The only the only people you can think of that would even have crates of riches or loot are the people you're looking for, and kind of just walking around being nosy about different things. There's it's similar to Vale. There's a certain scent that these people just can't get rid of. An aura about them. Um, as you just kind of nonchalantly between you and Tao, getting different bits of information, you do know that they are still waiting on another group. And depending on what that group wants to do, is when they will start hiring, looking for guards. So you figure there's at least another day. There's no talk about where they're going, but currently they've got 6 wagons purchased and loaded down with things.
Could I find somebody who seems maybe either a little more in charge or a little more chatty?
Um. So the only people that are chatty are the people who came from the docks. They're talking about how they made almost a year's wage by just carrying a box from the docks up here. Um, the people who aren't carrying anything and are kind of overlooking things when approached about things, they're very put offish. And, some minor inquiries, not anything that's specific or would make them think that you know more than you're trying to do. You're not getting any answers. When minor questions like, what is all this? Where did this come from? You're kind of, they're just, it's none of your business.
Hmm.
But you don't see anybody. Nobody really stands out as somebody in charge. What you just see is random people who are just watching over things, not carrying anything. As far as crates or anything like that.
As we're walking by somebody who seems in charge and they seem to be ignoring me when I speak to them in common, I'm going to look over to Tal and in Draconic just kind of mention we need to find our way back to the cult. We need to help the queen. And
Okay.
just see if any of them.
Give me an insight roll. Trying to look for body language reaction here. Give me an insight roll. You there's no response to you speaking in Draconic.
Okay, so I would just have to assume that this isn't.
Perhaps just a wealthy merchant.
Yeah, perhaps.
You don't see any of the typical signs. There's no dragon-esque people. You don't see any like any of the guard drakes, the large blue
Yeah,
land drakes.
just kind of
They
the
have a
small lady.
strange smell, but no different than one of the items you carry. Two of the items you carry technically has that same strange smell. So maybe the wind was just right and you were smelling things you currently have on you.
All right.
Not sure. But you do know that this particular group is waiting on another group. And what that group should be here on the morrow. And that group is who will make the decisions that you're more looking for.
Yeah, then I will just kind of put it off. I'll turn to Tal and I will tell him about how I went to the temple of the Platinum Dragon in his city. And I think we should probably go to the temple here in this city and speak to them about what's going to be traveling through their town, warn them, and ask if there's anything they can assist us with. Because I told them I would meet up with the people here.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask Tal, would you like to head into town, find the Platinum Dragon's Temple, and discuss some of the issues we are having with some of their higher ups? Possibly get some assistance.
Yeah, sure. I'll release some cats in there.
Well, I will attempt to find my way to that place.
Okay. Bum, 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 bum. So, any kind of temple, especially to Bahamut, based off your small, brief interaction, someplace like that is probably going to be in the upper city and probably around one of the villas or the richer section of upper city.
Okay.
So you start making your way there. And Seymour,
Yes.
with your massive natural 20 perception check, bud, what specifically, what kind of target are you looking for in order to pump some information out of them?
So I would probably, knowing we're looking for a cult of Tiamat, I'm going to look for somebody that seems to be in charge of a group that just came in. Since that was what they were talking about earlier, and seems to be somebody who is like more in charge of everything, and somebody who seems to be. I'm gonna make myself clear that I'm gonna go out and like be myself, but not letting everybody know. I'm not shy of having people look at me. So seeing who takes the most notice specifically of me being a dragonborn.
Okay. It's initially there's not the hubbub up here. It's a few hours into the evening before just like Nekasar and Tal and Fabius, you too saw this large group moving all these boxes and crates, purchasing wagons and things. You do take note with your fucking since you got a natural 20. You do take note of two people who, while you're getting stared at by a lot of people, most people's looks are that of wonderment, curiosity, and kind of like excitement. The two looks you get are death glares, are looks of wanting to put an end to your existence. Um, it's it's very off-putting. You've had people want to kill you before, but not just by looking at you. That's new. So kind of paying more attention to those two particular individuals. You you note that when that there was only one time they were both staring at you and trying to kill you with their face. Thereon, it was one was always somehow within eyesight, and the other, you can see that some of the people that were overseeing the people carrying all these crates was talking to the other one. Um, but there's a strong murder, death, die look about them. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna make note of it. Do you see any of the others around me, like within 100 feet or anything?
Um, since you all were looking for different things and did it different ways, no.
Okay.
You saw. I mean, you saw during your looks, during you looking around and things. You saw where uh, Fabius was keeping tabs on a halfling that was taking care of horses. Um, you saw Nekasar and Tal talking or trying to at least trying to talk to a couple of people that were overseeing the the group of people moving things. You didn't really pay too much attention to the people actually doing the moving. So you didn't see Vale or Virgil. You were more focused on the two people who, if they could shoot laser beams out of their eyeballs, would have turned you into a pile of amethyst, maybe, or made your body shatter into a million pieces. Um, but they definitely give you like some serious heebie-jeebies.
Okay, so I will then do this. Hold on, I'm looking for my psychic ability. Where are you? Here we
What do you?
go. So I'm gonna
What do you?
be within 30 feet of. Are they what? What are like? Are they what race are they? And
The
specifically each one.
the people trying to kill you with their eyeballs?
Yeah,
They appear human.
they both appear human.
Hmm.
Um, are they both males or are they both females or what are they?
You don't know.
Interesting. Okay. Uh, so I will. So one of them was always within eyesight of me. Was always looking at me. Correct.
Yeah, so at some point, whenever they would switch jobs, the other one would be there. But They you can't from a distance you can't really tell based on clothing and things if they are male, female, as they have a cloak over them, hiding a lot of their um, physical features. And I mean, there's guys who have long hair and girls who have short hair, so it's hard to see. There's no definitive there's nothing definitive from a distance tell you male or female or in between. But there was the initial time when you were really making a ruckus about yourself and trying to draw different attentions when they were both looking at you. And since then, one of them has always been keeping you at least within their periphery.
Okay. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to walk out of eyesight of them quickly for like 6 seconds. Cast invisibility on myself. And then get closer to them, or stay within eyesight of him, so like where he's looking in my general direction, and cast message. Or you know what? Does that take away my disability, my invisibility?
Let me look up invisibility. I think an action breaks it.
You're right. It does. Does it cast a spell? Okay.
But
But my psychic ability does not.
your psychic ability does not. That's correct.
Okay, so this is what I'll do. I'll cast invisibility on myself when I'm
Okay.
out of eyesight, break eye contact with them, where they don't see me,
Okay.
and then get within 30 feet of one of them,
Okay.
and say, I see you looking at me. But such death glares, I've never had those before. Nod, and I'm saying this in Draconic, nod if you understand everything.
Okay. So, do they understand you? So, the okay. So the one that you talk to starts looking around. Just looks, and does give an obvious nod since they don't know where you are.
And then continue in Draconic, I'll telepathically speak to them and say, I believe we may be of service to each other. But if you see me as an enemy, we may not be able to. But know that our goals are aligned, regardless of how I look.
Your telepathy is different than message. So telepathy is a little bit more of a personal message. So I'm gonna need you to roll either deception or persuasion. You tell me what you're trying to do here. Because a lot of telepathy has intent behind it. So, what do you want me to click on
Yeah,
here?
I'm trying to deceive for sure.
Okay.
Ah, so you
So
can roll on mobile. Nice.
no, I do it for them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's doing that.
Yeah. With a
Still max
21,
roll.
Seymour. Jesus. Um, the individual, because they don't know if they can reply back to in any way, shape, or form, just out loud and draconic, just says, "Show yourself."
First, I need assurances that you will not immediately end our conversation early. How about you walk to there? Is there an alley close by that's like hidden away from everything?
So the outer district is mostly tents. The only like real buildings and alleys are against the wall. So you're in the more tent section because this is where the wagons are being staged and are being loaded.
Oh,
You're
gotcha.
away
Okay,
from the main wall.
while I'm talking, I'm gonna stay within 30 feet, but look in like all the tents and find one that's empty.
Okay.
And if I do find one that's empty, I'll tell them to put any weapon they have at the closest tent to them and then walk to the specific tent that's empty. And then I will show myself there.
Okay. You do see a tent that eventually empties out enough, hopefully, for your particular use. Um, da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. Cast a spell, but how long does it last? Like, I wish this would give better information. How long does invisibility last? Invisibility. Duration an hour. Perfect. Concentration. Oh, I see it. 1 hour. I just gotta know where the fuck to look in Foundry, jackass. My bad.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
1 hour concentration.
Um. So you do eventually find one, and you see the person go inside the tent next to them. And when they come out of the tent, they are no longer wearing their cloak. And they just kind of put their hands wide, kind of do a circle around, and just waiting for next set of instructions.
Okay, I will lead them to the empty tent
Okay.
that is emptied out.
Are you already going to be in the tent? Or are you going to come in after
Yeah,
them?
I'm gonna come in, but I'm gonna go in before them. But they'll
Okay.
see, like, because I'm invisible, they'll see the tent move, so they'll know.
Okay. So they obviously do. They obviously see the tent flat open, and you going in, and you're kind of giving them the instructions. They do come in after you. Second or two. And they look around. They obviously don't see anything, but in Draconic, show yourself.
gonna have to leave here. I'm passing out here. Sorry.
Yep, we're almost out of here too, Vale. Have a good one, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. Nice seeing you play with you guys again. I'll see you in a month, I guess. Over a month.
Yep.
Sounds good.
August
See ya.
6th.
Alrighty.
Have a
bye.
good night.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you show yourself, Seymour?
Can I get a better look at like what they look like?
They appear to be a human male, about 6'2" ish, maybe about eye to eye with you. No visible weapons apparent on them, as there's no daggers. They're wearing a black leather vest versus full on like leather sleeved stuff. It's a black leather vest with a black shirt underneath it, and then black leather pants and black leather boots. They appear to be in all black leather. But no visible weapons, no swords. There's no daggers. You don't see any hilts. No pouches even. They seem to have come in here bare, other than what they're wearing.
Okay, but I'm gonna do this by showing myself. I'm going to cast Prestidigitation and see if any of their clothes happens to change when I like blow, like just make it look prettier and see if it actually does do anything.
Okay. So you cast Prestidigitation. What is it you're trying to do? Like, just because you can make something taste good, you could do minor effects, you can clean, but you can't
I'm gonna
change
see if it'll
color.
clean his boots. I'm gonna see
Okay.
if it'll clean his boots because they
Okay.
should be dirty, right?
Yeah. So you cast Prestidigitation. Your form becomes visible.
Yeah, on the opposite side of the tent from him, far
Sure.
enough away.
Tent is not. I mean, it's not a very big tent. It's
Yeah.
maybe a 10-foot, a 10 by 10. It's not monstrous. When you cast Prestidigitation on the person's boots, nothing happens to the boots.
Yeah,
And he
that's what I
goes,
thought.
"There you are." And their form shimmers and changes, and the individual grows about another foot, and they're standing in front of you in a more primal version of you, a dark black dragonling. And they just laugh at you as out of their mouth just darkness invades the tent. And that's where we will end tonight's episode of Hoard of the Dragon Queen.